months. You heard China's decision with all the latest news. I know initially you had been optimistic. When do you expect the NBA season to resume, and how?
I don't know the date, and it won't happen until we can be absolutely certain everybody will be safe. I mean, it's safety first, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And so, I've been optimistic that it might happen before the start of June, but who knows now? So we'll listen to the scientists and take our cues from them.
Mark, thanks for being on the show, buddy. When you look at this, I mean, the word hope, I know we're all hopeful. But in terms of expectations, do you have any at all, or do you have the mentality that it's inching closer towards the NBA believing that indeed there may not be a season?
No, I really think we'll have something. I really do. I don't know how, where, or when, but I do think we'll have a season. It's just too important to the United States of America. That's just it. We need sports. We need something to rally behind. We need teams to cheer for. We need to high five people, even if it's just our family in our homes. We just need it right now. And, the NBA, we try to stay ahead of the curve. But we also have to be confident of, setting the right example. So we won't do it till it's safe. But I really feel good that we'll do something.
Mark, Jay Williams brought up on the show yesterday that one of the issues, because hearing about the local TV money and how you have to hit certain benchmarks in 70 games, and so I figure you're going to at least get those games in to get that money. Everyone wants that, and then the playoffs. But Jay Williams mentioned that, I brought up one of the problems is the tests, the number of tests available maybe doesn't include everyone's families. It just includes essential personnel, and you can play in empty gyms. Jay brought up that some of the superstars who have a lot of money may look at that and say, wait, I don't want to be away from my family for several months while we do this, and may just say, in that case, let's forego the season. How do you see that playing out? If owners were also, for some reason, required to be there, would you spend several months away from your loved ones if there were only so many tests to go around in order to complete the season?
Yes. Absolutely. As much as I miss my family, and as much as I'd rather be here with them, like we have been. There's a bigger picture here. There's a whole country that's looking for something to cheer for. There's a whole country that wants something to get excited about. I would do it because I think it's the right thing to do. I think my fellow owners would probably do the same thing. As long as it's safe, as long as we're certain that we're not going to put ourselves at risk or put our families at risk when we come home. Yes. I mean, I don't want to speak for the players or the Players Association. I'm just speaking for myself. But the answer is absolutely 100% yes, I would go.
Mark Cuban, let me try to throw something in your direction, because we've had people on the air. They've talked about stuff like cruise ships and things of that nature. How about renting? How about booking about 2 or 3 hotels for players and team officials and closest family members? About 2 or 3 hotels in Vegas, and you're locked down there and just get it done. There's a couple of arenas in Vegas, a few I might add, that you could play in. It's right there in one city. You block out hotels and just handle it that way with family, friends, loved ones, people that have been tested that you're already close to and are safe and sound. How about something like that? Should that be considered?
Yeah, as long as the scientists bless it, absolutely. I'm game for anything that is safe, and there may be circumstances where we can make it more safe for, players and their families and the people who have essential personnel from an NBA perspective that have to be there. Why not? I would be all for it. Again, I'm not speaking for the NBA. I'm just saying, again, my underlying principle is sports are great for America. And when we start to go from America 1.0, from where we've been, to coming out of this in America 2.0, I think it's a great opportunity, and it's a responsibility of the NBA to lead the way, Stephen. I mean, we just have that obligation to just try to lift the spirits of America, and as long as it's safe, I think we should do it.
Mark, let's talk about the optics of that for a second. I agree with you, and I brought up on this show and others that FDR, and I realize some kids out there, man, FDR was president, led us out of the Great Depression, and also was president during the Second World War, and said to Major League Baseball at the time, wasn't sure what was going to happen, said, no, we need you to play. We need distraction in America's pastime, which baseball was at the time. So I understand the argument. I think it's a good one. I think I subscribe to it. but the optics of getting the number of tests required when they're still not plentiful, they're not accessible to people who need them. How do you square that with the general public? And then how do you acquire those tests even in the not too distant future?
So two different answers there. One, if we're talking about today or prior to today, you're exactly right. There's no reason we should be given any priority over any other American citizen. But we're not talking about today. We're talking about some date in the future. Abbott Labs, as an example, announced that they were going to be shipping 50,000 tests a day starting a couple of days ago that allows you to test people and have a response within 15 minutes. And I'm guessing that they're going to ramp those up. I'm guessing there'll be other suppliers who do similar things. And so if it's 30 days, which takes us to the end of April, we can start testing. If it's 60 days, which takes us to the end of May, there's time for American ingenuity and our entrepreneurs and our scientists to solve that problem. So you're right. If it was today, we couldn't do it. But 30, 60, 90 days from now, I think there will be enough tests. And if there are, let's go. Let's figure out a way to make it safe. Let the NBA, let Adam and Michelle Roberts come up with the right solution. And as long as it's safe, I'd be all for it. Again, I'm not making predictions. I'm not speaking for the NBA. I'm just being hopeful, and I think we need it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.